Fans of porn stars were left stunned when shocking rumors emerged that Richard Kevin Harrison, better known as Rick Harrison, had been sentenced to life in prison. Known for his no-nonsense business style and encyclopedic historical knowledge, Rick's fall into serious legal trouble caught everyone by surprise. His clean-cut television persona and respected reputation made the allegations even more difficult to believe. For years, porn stars captivated audiences by offering a behind-the-scenes look into the world of porn dealing. The show was centered around rare artifacts, high-stakes negotiations, and the everyday drama inside Rick's famous Las Vegas pawn shop. However, Rick's rise to fame has taken an unexpected and troubling turn. What could have led to such a dramatic downfall? In this piece, we explore the events that reportedly led to this shocking chapter in Rick's life and uncover the truth behind the case. Rick Harrison, an American businessman and television personality, was born on March 22, 1965, in Lexington, North Carolina. When he was just 2 years old, his family relocated to San Diego, California, where he spent much of his early childhood. At the age of 8, Rick was diagnosed with epilepsy, a condition that often forced him to stay home from school. It was during this time away from traditional education that Rick developed a strong love for reading, especially books on history, a passion that would later play a crucial role in his career. Despite his intellectual curiosity, Rick's epilepsy posed challenges throughout his youth. His frequent absences eventually led him to drop out during his sophomore year of high school. Rather than being discouraged, Rick turned to self-education, immersing himself in books on history, economics, and business. This self-taught knowledge would later become a cornerstone of his success. As a teenager, Rick began working with his father in various entrepreneurial ventures. These early experiences helped him hone his ability to evaluate the value and authenticity of objects, skills that would prove invaluable in his future career. At 17, he and his then-girlfriend Kim learned they were expecting a child, prompting them to marry. The couple had 2 sons, Corey and Adam, before ultimately divorcing after 8 years. In 1981, the Harrison family moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, where Rick's father, Richard Benjamin the Old Man Harrison, opened the gold and silver coin shop. By 1989, the business evolved into the now famous gold and silver pawn shop, which would later serve as the set for Pawn Stars. The decision to pivot from coins to a broader pawn business was strategic, as they recognized the greater profitability in a more diverse inventory. During the shop's early years, Rick and his father worked long hours to build a solid reputation in the Las Vegas community. Rick often had to deal with challenging customers and occasionally dangerous situations, all of which sharpened his negotiation skills and business instincts. By the early 2000s, he had gained respect as an expert in collectibles and historical artifacts, and the pawn shop had become a destination for locals and tourists alike. Recognizing the entertainment potential of their daily operations, Rick began pitching the idea of a reality show. After years of rejection, his persistence paid off when the History Channel picked up the concept. In 2009, Pawn Stars premiered, offering viewers a glimpse into the daily dealings at the gold and silver pawn shop. The show starred Rick, his son Corey Big Host Harrison, his father the Old Man, and their longtime friend Austin Chumlee Russell as they assessed and negotiated over items of historical value. The show quickly became a massive hit, transforming Rick from a local businessman into a national television figure. His no-frills negotiation style, sharp wit, and extensive knowledge made him a fan favorite. Rick's signature line, "The best I can do is," became one of the show's most recognizable catchphrases. What set Pawn Stars apart from other reality programs was Rick's emphasis on education. Each episode offered insights into the historical significance of various items, often accompanied by Rick's detailed explanations. His passion for history helped broaden the show's appeal, drawing in audiences beyond typical reality TV viewers. Under Rick's leadership, the pawn shop blossomed into a major Las Vegas tourist attraction. Fans flocked from around the world in hopes of meeting the cast or appearing on the show. The business flourished, merchandise sales surged, and Rick capitalized on his fame through book deals, public speaking engagements, and even the opening of his own restaurant. His success on Pawn Stars catapulted him into full-blown celebrity status, with appearances on talk shows, magazine covers, and industry events. Rick Harrison's journey from modest beginnings to nationwide fame resonated with countless fans. His straightforward, no-nonsense business advice earned him respect not only within the entertainment industry but also in broader business circles. As the central figure of Pawn Stars, Rick gained a reputation for his sharp instincts and practical approach to negotiation. Often, he served as the voice of reason, stepping in to curb his son Corey's ambitious spending or manage Chumlee's unpredictable behavior. His bond with his father, Richard the Old Man Harrison, was a cornerstone of the show, built on years of working side by side and rooted in mutual respect. After his father's passing in 2018, Rick remained committed to honoring his legacy and continuing to run the gold and silver pawn shop with the same values they built it on. At the height of Pawn Stars' popularity, Rick's personal life also saw notable changes. His first marriage ended in divorce, and he later married Tracy Harrison, with whom he shared 27 years before separating in 2011. In 2013, Rick married Deanna Burdett in a ceremony officiated by Counting Cars star Danny Coker, with Chumlee serving as the ring bearer. Although Rick generally kept his private life away from the spotlight, occasional glimpses on the show revealed his deep dedication to family despite the constant demands of business and fame. Outside of the pawn shop, Rick expanded his entrepreneurial ventures. He opened Rick's Rolling Smoke Barbecue and Tavern at Pawn Plaza, located next to the gold and silver pawn shop. In 2011, he co-authored the book License to Pawn, Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver, where he shared insights into his business philosophy and the lessons learned throughout his career. Always seeking new opportunities, Rick worked tirelessly to grow his brand and build a diversified business empire. Throughout his career, Rick showed an uncanny ability to recognize value in unexpected places. On Pawn Stars, he evaluated a wide variety of items, from rare historical documents and vintage cars to ancient artifacts and modern collectibles. Although his expertise was extensive, Rick wasn't afraid to call in specialists when needed, showcasing his understanding that knowing one's limits is a strength, not a weakness. Over the years, he made countless deals, some highly profitable and others less so. His knowledge of firearms, watches, and American history often led to remarkable acquisitions. Among his most memorable finds was a 2001 New England Patriots Super Bowl ring, purchased for $2,600 but believed to be worth significantly more. Another standout item was a collection of Spanish gold doubloons from a 1715 shipwreck, reflecting his ongoing fascination with history and precious metals. Despite his success, Rick's life was not without controversy. In 2023, he faced serious legal troubles that would shake the foundation of his career. Federal agents raided his Las Vegas home as part of a months-long investigation, leaving the public stunned and hungry for answers. The initial lack of information sparked rampant speculation. During the operation, FBI agents, alongside investigators from the IRS and the Department of Cultural Heritage Protection, executed search warrants at both Rick's residence and the gold and silver pawn shop. Employees and customers present at the time were temporarily detained as authorities seized computers, documents, and high-value inventory. Corey Harrison, who was at the shop during the raid, later described the scene as surreal, like something out of a movie. Witnesses reported that Rick appeared calm and collected as he was led away by agents, even as bystanders captured the moment on their phones. Videos quickly spread across social media, fueling widespread speculation and public interest. As details gradually emerged, it became evident that Rick was at the center of a serious federal investigation. Allegations included a complex tax evasion scheme, money laundering tied to high-value transactions at the pawn shop, and accusations of dealing in illegally obtained artifacts. The investigation reportedly began after financial institutions flagged suspicious activity and former business associates filed formal complaints. In the wake of the raid, the History Channel announced that production on Pawn Stars would be suspended indefinitely while they monitored the situation. Although the gold and silver pawn shop remained open to the public, the business suffered a sharp decline in foot traffic as Rick's legal troubles cast a long shadow over its reputation. Initially, Rick's representatives denied all allegations, insisting that the investigation was based on a misunderstanding that would soon be cleared up. His attorney, David Marshall, a well-known Las Vegas defense lawyer with experience in high-profile cases, publicly stated that Rick was fully cooperating with authorities and was confident his name would be cleared. Rick Harrison had long built a reputation as a man of integrity, someone who prided himself on conducting business by the book. Yet as the federal investigation into his dealings progressed, disturbing allegations began to emerge. Authorities claimed to have uncovered evidence pointing to Rick's involvement in an intricate scheme to undervalue historical artifacts for tax purposes, only to later sell them privately at their true market value. Investigators also alleged that Rick knowingly acquired stolen historical items through intermediaries. These included rare documents of immense historical importance and artifacts previously reported missing from museums and private collections. Court documents revealed that the investigation had, in part, been triggered by a whistleblower, a former employee who had worked closely with Rick in the acquisition of high-value items. This individual provided key testimony, including details about an alleged second set of books used for off-record transactions. Following his arrest, Rick was released on bond with a court appearance scheduled shortly thereafter. He faced multiple felony charges, including tax evasion, money laundering, dealing in stolen property, and conspiracy to traffic in illegally obtained cultural artifacts. His attorney maintained that Rick adamantly denied all accusations and was fully prepared to defend himself in court. The legal battle spanned nearly a year. While Rick publicly maintained his innocence, the prosecution gradually built a compelling case. They introduced financial records, encrypted messages, and testimonies from former employees who claimed Rick had instructed them to alter documentation for high-value items. More damning was evidence suggesting Rick had set up offshore accounts to conceal profits from particularly lucrative transactions. Among the most damaging pieces was a text exchange between Rick and a supplier in which they allegedly discussed how to mask the provenance of an 18th-century document believed to have been stolen from a university archive. In another message, Rick appeared to explore methods of structuring a sale to avoid financial reporting laws for large cash deals. Despite the growing legal pressure, Rick remained publicly defiant. He made appearances on conservative talk shows, insisting that the charges were politically motivated and that he was being targeted for his success. Supporters quickly mobilized behind him, launching the #FreeRick campaign and even organizing protests outside the courthouse during his hearings. However, the case took a dramatic turn when Rick was found to have violated court orders, significantly damaging his defense. The revelation shocked many longtime fans who had viewed him as a knowledgeable and straightforward businessman from porn stars. Media coverage amplified public outrage, casting Rick in a new light, that of a shrewd operator engaged in a series of ethically murky dealings. Some fans, however, continued to advocate for him, insisting he deserved a fair trial. Online communities emerged, emphasizing how much Rick had contributed to public interest in history. "Rick made me love history in a way school never could," one fan wrote. "Now it's our turn to stand by him." As the trial neared its conclusion, tension in the courtroom reached a peak. When the verdict was announced, a heavy silence fell. Rick, who had remained composed throughout the proceedings, turned visibly pale. His son Corey, seated behind him, buried his face in his hands, while Chumlee, who had attended every session in solidarity, was seen leaving the room, visibly distressed. The sentence stunned legal experts, many of whom deemed it disproportionately harsh. Yet the presiding judge justified it by citing not only the financial crimes, but the irreparable harm done to cultural heritage through Rick's dealings. "Mr. Harrison, you have presented yourself as a guardian of history, someone who respects the stories behind objects and their cultural significance," the judge declared during sentencing. "But in reality, you participated in the systematic looting and destruction of irreplaceable historical sites for personal gain. This court cannot ignore the severity of your actions." Following the sentencing, Rick's legal team filed an appeal, arguing that the punishment was excessive given the non-violent nature of the offenses. They also requested that Rick remain free on bond during the appeals process, but the court denied the motion. Images of Rick being escorted from the courtroom in handcuffs quickly circulated across news outlets and social media, dominating headlines in the days that followed. Public reaction was sharply divided. Many longtime fans were in disbelief, convinced that a miscarriage of justice had occurred. On the other hand, members of the academic and cultural heritage community supported the sentence, viewing it as a strong message against the illegal trade in stolen artifacts. Amid this, Rick's most devoted supporters launched the Hearts for Harrison campaign, gathering over 100,000 signatures in a petition for a review of his case. "We're not saying he shouldn't be held accountable if he broke the law," said campaign organizer Melissa Jenkins. "But sentencing someone to life in prison for a non-violent offense isn't justice, it's vengeance." The campaign encouraged people to sign the petition or contribute to Rick's legal defense fund, emphasizing that even small donations could help sustain his appeal. "Every prayer, kind message, and contribution makes a difference," the campaign's website stated. Rick's son Corey also spoke out publicly. "My father made mistakes, but he doesn't deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison," Corey said. "He deserves the opportunity to make amends." In the wake of the scandal, the History Channel officially cut ties with Rick, cancelling Pawn Stars and pulling all reruns from its programming. The network released a statement expressing disappointment in Rick's actions and reaffirming its commitment to ethical standards in dealing with historical artifacts. Despite the upheaval, Rick's influence on reality TV and the porn industry is undeniable. Before his conviction, he had successfully expanded his ventures, opening several restaurants and bars in Las Vegas with plans to expand to other cities. Now under Corey's leadership, the gold and silver pawn shop continues to operate. Though the business initially suffered from reduced foot traffic, Corey has worked hard to rebuild its reputation. He has introduced stricter verification processes for acquisitions and partnered with museums and educational institutions to promote responsible collecting practices. 6 months after Rick's sentencing, Corey addressed concerns about the shop's future. "We've implemented strict new procedures to verify the origins of every item we buy," he stated. "What happened was wrong, and we're committed to being part of the solution, not the problem." Chumlee, who considered Rick both a mentor and father figure, also opened up about the emotional toll. "Rick taught me so many valuable business lessons that I'll carry with me forever," he said in a podcast. "But I've had to come to terms with the fact that there was a side of him I didn't see, or maybe didn't want to see." As the Harrison family faces the immense task of restoring their name, their focus remains on supporting Rick through the appeals process. With Corey now firmly at the helm, many have been surprised by his steady leadership and maturity, far from the impulsive persona fans remember from the show. The overwhelming support from fans has been a source of strength for the family. "Your encouragement has been a lifeline for our father," Corey shared. "He reads every letter and finds comfort in knowing so many people still stand by him." Weekly prayer gatherings are now held outside the pawn shop, and fans unable to visit Las Vegas are encouraged to send letters, cards, or favorite Pawn Stars memories. Rick's fall from grace, from respected businessman and TV icon to convicted felon, stands as a powerful cautionary tale. It's a story that illustrates both the dangers of unchecked ambition and the fragile line between entrepreneurial success and criminal misconduct.